Welcome to episode 1 of the Uncompetent and Inqualified podcast. Hope you're all having a good morning, day, evening, or night. We'll give this thing a run, and if we make it to season episode 2, then you guys are along for the ride. So, Will, got any comments?
Yeah, I just want to welcome everybody to our first official, second unofficial podcast for us. We had some audio issues in our first one related to me and my technical prowess regarding the microphone, but I think we're back up and running right now and think they're sounding good, so we're ready to officially have our first podcast.
What you guys knew nothing about, so we really didn't have to throw ourselves under the bus for having a shitty first podcast, but that's okay.
I think we can be honest with people, right?
Yeah,
We don't have anything to hide.
Sometimes we want to look like we know what we're doing too, but that's okay.
I'd just like to remind everybody, please like, subscribe, do all the good stuff that YouTube asks you to do, notifications, turn them on, and just participate in the chat. Please, leave criticisms or critiques or things you like or don't like in the chat, and we promise to read them and consider them and apply them if we can.
Yeah, so we kind of figured we would touch base on some stuff that happens outside of our lives into the world, but also try to base it around stuff that's whatever experiences that we've had or situations that we've been in, and things that we've overcame or maybe not overcome, and just kind of instead of giving advice, we're just gonna kind of maybe give you some demonstrations into like I say, stuff that we went through in the past, and maybe touch base on some some stuff that's going on in the world right now, and kind of how we feel on it. And so there's not a topic that we probably won't cover, but that's our main goal, and hopefully if we get some subscribers and get some people that follow the channel, they can hopefully write in some things that they're wondering, and maybe we won't have any life experiences to give to give our opinions on, but so that's kind of our ultimate goal with this show.
Yeah, I think ultimately, we're here. We're just giving opinions. If we don't have any advice to reach on, we'll just make something up and give it to you. So that's the best we can offer. We just want to be here. We want to entertain and just hang out with each other, honestly. So we're just inviting you to participate in that, and I appreciate your presence.
Yeah, and if you guys knew us outside of this podcast, you would know to not trust a damn thing that we say, anyways. So
we have strong opinions, but they're our own.
So let's get to our first one. So one of the things we joke about a lot at work actually is that I'm obviously not in shape at all and don't care to be in shape at all, but one of the things that we kind of read back and forth on is your extreme amount of water intake, which is just ridiculous. It's seriously, scientists would just baffle their mind. And also your regimen of diet, I would say. So me and Will have worked together for, God, what now? Like, we figured, I think we were talking about this a few weeks ago, like 8 years, 9 years?
Yeah,
more?
About 9, 10.
Something
I think
like that.
Publix was 9 or 10 years ago.
Okay. And, we were kind of on and off, but we worked there for probably about 5 or 6 years, pretty steady, same job, every job. And so, I've seen a transformation in Will. I've always been a big guy, and he always, the first couple years I knew him, was a skinny guy. And this guy just completely got shredded. And I've had my weight loss scenarios, I guess, where, I've tried to kind of do what Will does, but not as extreme. And so, yeah, one thing I joke with you about a lot is, the amount of like meat that you put in your body, but I've never actually like stopped and asked like serious questions. So like when you started that, how hard was that? Because like for a normal guy, you don't just go on to like a strict regimen diet like that. And I'm just curious. Now, for those that don't obviously know, Will was in the military as well. But I mean, like being in the military, like, did that help? Did it help being a skinnier guy to where like the cravings weren't there? So you just kind of like switched it up, like you never ate a lot of sweets. Like, kind of dive into that a little bit. Like, how did you wake up one day and you're like, was it like a science that took like 6 months to figure out what your body needed to get how you wanted your muscles to look? Like how long did that take? Where did it come from? Dive into that.
Okay, you're throwing a lot of questions, and you just threw like 40 things all wrapped into one.
Well, let's
so.
just talk about how it started. Like,
Okay.
how did that concept start?
Sure. So just 100% honest, I think I've been struggling with body image for forever, man, since high school. And yeah, I mean, I've always, for the last 20 something years, I've always just struggled. I've always had like an image of what I wanted to look like, and I just never really felt that. And so I've been just dieting on and off and working out on and off for a long time, years and years. And I did the whole thing where I'd go on a really strict diet, work out really good, and then I'd fall off. And I just felt like I was going back and forth, the doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm gonna be just brutally honest. There's a lot of people I haven't told about this, but what really kind of kicked it off for me, um, was actually battling some addiction. So when I was just battling my addiction and had stopped some substances that weren't good, and that I've been struggling with for years. I needed something to kind of fill that void, right? To fill that emptiness, left, by that substance. And so, I just dove head first. I took all that energy that I was spending, um, into substances and kind of destroying my life, and I kind of just refocused it into I guess my physique, right? And that was therapy. It was therapeutic for me, and it just gave me an outlet. It gave me an outlet to put all the energy in, essentially. And then from there, it was really just gradual. I didn't start eating burger patties for every meal. I didn't start doing the workout that I am now. I just started getting really into the kind of media of podcasts, of working out, and just learning as much as I could, and just trying just started trying things. I saw what worked and what didn't work. And every time I'd try something new, I'd be like, okay, this is it. This is the secret, and this is how I'm going to get there. And then just to kind of wrap up this, I think what ultimately I learned was, there is no magic pill. There is no magic secret. There isn't like the one thing you're going to do that's just going to flip everything away. You're kind of going to have to try a lot of things. You're going to have to see what works for you, because you're going to see all on YouTube. Everybody's going to have this magic pill, this cure, this idea that's going to transform your life. But everybody's different. And so the diet that works for me doesn't work for everybody. And the training that works for me doesn't work for everybody.
And this guy is not lying. Okay, the reason why I ask this question is I joke a lot is this guy is going on like 5 or 6 years straight of like hamburgers for lunch, just patties, no bun, no ketchup, and some like shaved salmon at break. It never fails. Every time you think he's gonna trick you, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, well, you brought something different today. Nope, here comes the hamburger patties out to play. And I just know that like I want to touch base on the addiction thing, because I think that you're right. The only times in my life since Jesus, probably 10th grade that I've been under 200 pounds. I was a big kid. I just never ate healthy and stuff like that. The only times I've been under 200 is if I'm doing it for somebody else. And you know, whether we're doing it to as a crutch to fight something, um, and that could be doing it for somebody else too. It's kind of a crutch. I think that's why a lot of people get into it. And I think that's why it fails a lot. Like my times that I got into running was, I was in a good situation, and I was trying to prove myself for somebody else that I can look good, and I can, be better. And that's the reason why I wanted to know on your regiment, because I mean, I lasted, oh man, I mean, I was running 6 miles a day. I ran 2 half marathons, and I mean, I saw my weight go from 300s down to, I was under 200, and like, I mean, I don't know an exact date because it was quite a rush, but I want to say, like 5 6 months. I mean, I was just shredding, it was crazy. Um, but anyways, to go back to it is I had, see, my problem is I was ate too much. So like in my head, what I had to control was to get the weight off. I had to keep track of calories, and those, like, whether I took 4,000 calories, that meant instead of running 6 miles, maybe I'd run eight. Maybe instead of doing my 3 sets of 25 push-ups, I would do four. Like, I was trying to burn extra calories because that's all I could do. I never could get a diet down, and that's one of the reasons why I added every pound and then some back on. So I guess that's kind of where, like, I'd like to go back. Like, so, like, I mean, you kind of touched base a little bit on it. Like, when you started your diet, like, the salmon and the burgers and stuff like that, was that, maybe I just didn't notice because you weren't yoked out of your mind yet, but was that kind of like how long did it take you, like, and how hard is that every day? Because a guy like me, there's no way in hell I could do it. I guess is what I'm saying. Like, my hat's off to you. Like, so, like talk about that a little bit. It's the same
Okay,
thing every
yeah.
day.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. I think, yeah, we're narrowing it down. No, I mean, you probably don't remember, but no, it didn't start. You were, honestly, Joey, you were there when everything started. Like,
Oh, I
you
remember
were
when you
there.
got yoked,
Yeah,
but I
and
don't
well, and
remember the
that
small things.
no, but that was, that was me. I was eating a lot of crap. Like, I just wanted to get big because, like you said, I was a very skinny guy. I was just eating junk, right? Like, I just wanted to gain weight, and I did. But ultimately, I guess, no, it's kind of been an evolution, and I think, like I said, I'm not a zealot in any way, and I fully realize, like, there's so much variety on ways that people can eat and still, feel good and look good and all that stuff. What worked for me just initially, and has always worked for me, is kind of a low carb and higher protein and fat diet. Like, I've just always felt better. I've always been able to maintain a little bit leaner physique than a higher carbohydrate diet. And for me, just kind of like you, like, I like to eat. Like, I like to be full. And when you're eating a lot of protein and fat and stuff, it's hard to overeat. Like, that's ultimately it. Like, do I love burger patties? No. Like, I don't. But when I eat one, I'm not hungry anymore. And
Hmm.
so that's kind of my philosophy, is like, do I love the food I'm eating, on a day-to-day basis? No, I don't. Do I, like, do I look forward to it? When I'm trying to lose weight, I do. When I'm trying to gain weight, heck no. Like, every burger patty I eat is like, oh my god. But I know I need protein to grow, right? But when you're trying to lose weight or in a caloric deficit, like, your flavor palette becomes a little bit more sensitive. So when I'm trying to lose weight and I'm hungry, that burger will fill that void, and it'll fill it for a while, and you're not going to be nobody eats a plain burger patty is like, oh, I want one more. You eat a
Yeah.
potato chip, you eat some M&Ms. I'm the same way. Like, I eat that stuff, I'm not stopping. But when you're eating just kind of like that protein, fatty protein, whatever, it self limits. And like I said, like I'm an overeater too, and that's how I kind of cured it. And it's not glamorous, and it's not super, like I'm not like, I don't look forward to every meal. Now, how I make up for that is like, I for Fridays with my wife, like we go out, we have a good meal. On my weekends, I'm not so strict. I'm not eating burger patties on my weekends. Like we're going a little bit more adventurous and mixing it up a little bit on the weekends. But for me, it's just easy to track. If I can just eat the same thing every day and I want to add weight, I just add a little calories. If I want to take it away, I take it away. And it's just simple,
Yeah.
because I know if I complicate it and I count every calorie, I'm not going to want to do it and I'm going to screw it up.
So there was no like Atkins diet book you're reading, and you're like, it's just kind of a fluky, like, I need protein, and I'll throw this in. Oh, this looks good. Like I said, the shaved salmon you have for break. Like, there's no secret to it. It's just kind of fell into place, I guess. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, it's just, like I said, it's just after trying different things, because I've tried the high carb, I've tried higher carb, high protein, low fat. I've tried it all, and so no, I mean I have read a lot on the ketogenic diet. I've read the carnivore book, and I've tried those, and a full ketogenic and a full carnivore are a little bit too strict for me, right? So like right now, I do have some carbs there. I probably have 50 to, right now I probably have 100 to 200 grams of carbs in a day. When I'm dieting, it's probably closer to 50. So I do like to have some carbs. And I think those, zero carb diets are too much for me. But I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't tried them. So yeah, for me, like I just feel like I've just in the last 20 years, I've tried all the freaking diets. And I just finally, after a long time, put together what worked for me and that I can sustain. And for anybody out there who is struggling or wanting to make improvements, the biggest thing I can say is sustainability. Like, I mean, Joey, I've done the same thing where I've done so many times where I would just like, okay, I'm eating salads. I'm eating chicken salads. I'm going to run every day. I'm going to work out and I'm going to do this. And then you get to the same point. You're like, I can't eat chicken salads every freaking day. Like, I can't run 6 miles 4 days a week. Like, I've just, right now, I just found sustainability. And the thing about sustainability is that it grows, right? Is that
Yeah.
whatever you start with, like, you just need to say, what's sustainable for now? Like, what can I do now every day? And that's not going to be eating burger patties. It's not going to be running a bunch. It's not
Yeah.
going to be working out a bunch. It's just going to be, maybe it's just going to be a change. It's going to be maybe I stop drinking soda and I go for, and I walk for 2 hours a week. Can I sustain that?
Yeah.
Most people probably can. Well, sustain that and then add to it. And I think just from experience, like going too much too fast is just a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that's exactly what I am, and it's like it's kind of funny. It's like I said, growing up, I was always kind of a bigger kid. It never bugged me too much. My friends were used to it. Everybody was used to it, and yeah, like when I went through some stuff, and I was like, oh, I better get my shit together and lose weight, and trying to impress other people, and yeah, it was quite the endeavor. But I guess yeah, that's like so. My thing is, and you know this from us working together. Typically, I don't eat a lot for breakfast or lunch, and my thing,
Yeah.
and I haven't. And people are surprised by this because how big of a guy I am. I haven't had a soda pop in like 20 years. I don't think I've had a soda pop in as long as I quit drinking, and I quit drinking like 14 years ago for the most part. I mean, every 1 in 5 years I might have a celebratory beer or whatever if it's a big event or something, but it's very
We don't
rare.
count that. Yeah.
And I mainly do that for just my buddies to get a rise out of it. But so anyways, yeah, the not drinking soda thing, and but um Yeah, I don't know. But you're right. Like when you say you try to cram too much into one, like you try to take away too much at one time, and it is a recipe for disaster. And that's why I've never withstood anything long term. Is because I'm like, all right, motherfucker, we're gonna take it all away. We're gonna strip you down, and we're gonna shed you down, to a good looking individual, but it's not sustainable.
We
And
all do it, Joey.
right.
Like there was this. Let me really quick. There was this velocity diet I tried, and literally it was a protein shake with like flax seeds and like maybe something else that you were supposed to take. You were supposed to do it for 30 days, and you're just drinking this protein, like 3 of these shakes per day. And I did it, and then like I'm like, yeah, like I lost 15 pounds in 30 days, and then guess what happens? Like we've all been there, man.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Well, and I know we want to touch base on a few more topics, but I do want to ask this because actually wasn't even planning on talking about this, but I guess let's do it since we're here. Um, so that actually follows into another one because I have tried the GNC caffeine when I was running 6 miles a day. I'd pop a little cinnamon pill that'd give me all this energy, and help me run. I've tried different supplements that are probably bad for your body. Um, how do you feel with this whole Ozempic thing? And is this like, they're saying like it's just a natural weight loss drug, like, and I, me, I don't follow the news that much, so like I kind of hear what I hear on radio and stuff like that. Is this drug actually making people lose weight without changing anything in their diet, or are these people actually dieting and it's assisting? Do you think it's bad or is it good? Uh,
No, no, you came to the right place, Joey. No, I've been following. I've been following. GLP. It's a GLP-1. It's a glucose like peptide, something similar. No, I mean it really is. It really is amazing. It really is. You know, it is. It's something revolutionary. It's something never been seen. You've never been able to just. It's not a pill, first of all. It's an injection, like a once a week injection. But no, there's never been a weight loss drug like this. Especially, maybe except for when they were using like amphetamines as weight loss drugs or something along those lines, but that was a whole bad direction that they never should have gone in. So, no, I mean, it really is Ozempic, tirzepatide, and then, they're coming out with new ones too, every year. So,
that blows my mind. I was not expecting that out of you with your diet regimen and a lot of the natural stuff that you do to. I was not expecting you to say that it's a good thing for a
well,
weight
okay.
loss drug.
So let me backtrack a little bit. The one thing we don't know is there's just no long term studies of these drugs.
Right, and that's
So
what I was going to say.
yeah, and so there's no reason to necessarily believe there's gonna be long lasting effects from these. We just don't know. On all the pathways they're working, there's really no reason why we would expect it. But if you don't know, you don't know. So there's just no long term studies. But that being said, if you can take an obese person and put them into a healthy body fat range, like you're probably adding years to their life anyways. So it's kind of a fair assumption to be like, okay, like if this is changing people's lives, even if there are some negative consequences, it still might be a net bonus, right?
Well, but that leads me back to one of my other questions. Is the like the long term effects and stuff like that? But is it people? Are people actually changing the way they eat? Like I told you, like with when I would work out previously, and go on my 6 month hiatus, like trying to lose weight. I never stopped how much I was intaking. I just made sure I was burning enough calories to cover it, and that's not healthy either you know for fat getting into your system if you're eating a ton of ice cream and sweets and everything else. So I mean on that fact alone, like is it just shedding people's body weight down on its own, or are they having to change the way they eat? Like, or is it limiting what they eat? Is it like an appetite drug?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So especially semaglutide, which is Ozempic, right? Like that is probably the strongest appetite suppressant out of all of them. Now there's semaglutide, and then there's tirzepatide, and then there's also like retatrutide, which is now really like this is the reason I know a lot is because this is really popular in the fitness influencer kind of podcast. Like bodybuilders are taking this stuff, fitness influencers. Like this is not like a obesity thing. Like the fitness world has like the fitness world has like was taking this before most of these people. Like yeah. If you want to like know ahead of everybody else what can kind of help your physique, you start watching some of these like fitness influencer or bodybuilding podcasts, because these guys are on top of it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up too, and maybe you could elaborate. These drugs have been around for a long time. I can remember 20, 25 years ago, asking my family doctor about an appetite suppressant. It just wasn't mainstream, right? I mean, these have been
These
here.
are these are a little bit different. No, I think these haven't been around super long. I want to say they've been kind of publicly available for the last few years. He might be talking about a different appetite suppressant, but no, I mean like, and I'm just gonna be honest. Like I've taken some of these and given them a try, um, and they work, man. Like, and I know, I'm not who you think about would take them, but for someone like me that maybe in the summer I want to get a little bit leaner and I'm really struggling with my appetite and stuff, like just taking a low dose of something like that can really help me reach my goals too. So, and does that mean am I going to be taking the same amount of a morbidly obese person? No, absolutely not. But for someone just kind of like just really um trying to maximize their own physique, sprinkling a little bit of this kind of stuff can really be a benefit to anyone. So I'm not recommending anybody do that or don't do that or anything like that. But I do have experience with this stuff. And so to go back to your previous question, just like anything, Joey, yes, this especially if you take like a max dose of this stuff, and let me just clarify, if you're taking a max dose, like you're, I mean, the biggest thing with it, it's a hunger suppressant, especially semaglutide. It's a hunger suppressant, so it's going to cause a little nausea, right? It's going to slow digestion. It's going to slow gastric emptying. It's you're not going to feel super great, right? Because it's just slowing down everything in your stomach and making you not want to eat. So you have to be prepared for a little bit of nausea, right? Because that's how it works. It makes you not want to eat, and so that is why people cannot change their diet, and it's just going to make you want to eat less, right? It's going to make you fuller faster. It's going to make you do all that stuff. Now, obviously, like with any weight loss regimen, you're going to want to maximize it, because a big concern with these things is, especially for people that don't really know how to properly eat, is under eating protein. Like protein is a super important macronutrient to everybody for maintaining muscle mass, right? So if someone, is just hammering Ozempic and they're not eating that much and they're not eating any protein, like there can be a decrease of muscle mass, which is pretty much never a good thing, especially with people that are untrained or don't have a whole lot of muscle. So I wouldn't recommend anybody starting Ozempic without, kind of locking down, how they should be eating. I think if you're going to take Ozempic, I think you need to prioritize protein and prioritize a more nutritious diet, because if you're eating less, right, like it's easier to start lacking some of that nutrition. If like, but that being said, some people, you can out eat Ozempic if you really try. Like if you want to eat as much as you can and try to fight the Ozempic, I'm sure anybody can do that.
Yeah, so it could be dangerous for some of these doctors that just hand out scripts like they're nothing. Like,
Yeah,
hey, I want to try this. Oh, here you go, and they don't really talk
sure.
about it with them and make them
Yeah,
understand it.
yeah. It's just like with like the stomach, uh, the gastric bypass and all that stuff, like where they shrink your stomach down to an egg or a fist, right? Like if you only get an egg or a fist sized meal, you better make that meal count, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't fill that fist or egg with Snickers bars and potato chips because
Oh, hell yeah,
you're
you can.
you're
Hell
right.
yeah, you
Okay,
can.
no, you're up there. You can, but you probably don't want to. Like so,
Yeah.
whatever what obviously whatever weight loss path you choose, it should always be paired with some kind of basic exercise and nutrition program.
Yeah, I was not expecting that out of you. Man, I thought you threw me for a loop on that one. I thought you were going down with those Epic, down with those drug moguls pumping drugs out to the people.
I mean,
Man,
normally I am. Normally
oh,
I am, but this one, like these ones really work, and it's gonna be it's gonna be a big thing coming up as
but
they come out with more of them.
like you say, time will tell with long-term effects. Obviously, nobody
Yeah,
knows. Nobody knows until it happens. But
sure.
what else? What else you got on your mind today?
Oh, what else do I have? So, um, one thing I did want to speak about, which is just me venting a little bit. So, as I was editing our podcast, and when I say editing the podcast, like, excuse me, like I'm not, I'm not sitting here in the matrix. Like my editing is pretty dismal. It's mostly just deleting empty spaces and stutters and stuff that we tend to do. But man, just listening to my own voice, freaking brutal, Joey. Like, you know what I mean? Like we all have this internal dialogue of what the voice sounds like coming out of our mouth and our head.
Yeah.
That is not what everybody else hears, man.
No, I'm thankful that I have headphones that all
Yeah,
I hear is your voice because I don't
yeah,
like mine either, and that's just I think that's just I bet if you asked people that are whether it's show business or podcasts or I mean whatever millions of ways you can get to fame these days, I bet you if you asked us about anybody, they would say it was an adjustment because you're so used to hearing something different in your own ears. You spend your whole life talking, and it
yeah.
sounds different in your own mind. And for the first time, you're like, "Holy shit, I sound horrible!" Like it's just. Whereas maybe it's not that bad. I mean, it's just the way it is, and yeah, no, it's a little different.
If you're one of the people that think they're not that bad, I want to meet you because maybe you have a great voice. But I asked my wife. I had her listen to a little bit. I'm like, is this what I sound like? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, I sound all nasally and like I have a huge lisp. And she just looks at me like, and so I'm like,
Yeah,
well, like, what is it? She said, do you want me to lie to you? And I said, kind of. She's like, that's what you sound like. I'm like, man, so how do people take me seriously? She said they don't, but
yeah, nobody
I
does,
guess
but yeah, no,
no. Thanks,
it's like
honey.
weird. I mean, no, I'm just messing with you, but it's almost like I mean, like, what do we like? How does this come to be, right? Like, we grow up and like, I mean, do we just think like once we hit like 5 or 6, like that we just sound like the greatest man of all time? Like, oh fuck that Brad Pitt guy, he's got nothing on my voice. Oh, George Clooney, Mr. Suave, no,
Yeah,
no. I mean, like, what age do we start hearing a different sounding voice than what we really are? Right?
that's a good question. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we always kind of just coming out of our, hearing it coming out of our mouth. I think it's just always different, and I think because like we hear, what it sounds like when other people talk to us. I think we compare what we hear from other people to what we hear coming out of our mouth, and I think that's where we go wrong. Is that like you're like, yeah, I got this killer low voice or whatever, but no, Your voice, let me tell you, your voice is about 3 octaves and more nasally than you ever thought it really was.
Yeah.
So that was just something I had to come to grips with here.
What else you got going on?
What else do we got? Did you want to
By the
talk about
way,
that?
you know I'm not the most punctual guy. This guy calls me.
Okay. No, that's a
This
good
guy-
one. That's a great
This
one.
guy. So last time we talked, we didn't even say 1 o'clock. The last time we had our disaster of a podcast,
Oh,
it
man.
was at 1. It was at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And so we're like,
Okay.
okay, well, let's give it we're gonna give it another try. All right, around the same time. So I'm like waiting for him to call. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tired. I might have been taking a little nap, but I get a call at like 1:30, and I'm like, oh, it's Will. Oh, maybe we're gonna do the podcast. He's like, I sent you the link. Okay, first of all, my Gmail, I never keep my alerts on because it's always blowing up with like spam and other crap. Like I never have my notifications on. And then he's like, "Are we gonna do it?" So we said 1 o'clock. Like that is my fault that you didn't just pick up the phone at 1 and say, "Hey, are we ready to go?"
Okay, can I retort? Because you're
Yeah,
throwing some
I'd
things
love
at
you
me.
to.
And
I'd love
I
you
see
to.
you're trying to get me a little worked up because I am getting pretty worked up right now. Like blood pressure's boiling up. First of all, the original podcast was at 2 o'clock, not 1 o'clock.
Was it?
Yes, it was at 2 o'clock. 2 days ago, on Thursday, we talked, and I'm like, Joey, what time do you want to do the podcast? Because I remember the full conversation, right? And I'm like, what time do you want to do the podcast? He said, well, I think around 1 o'clock because I have a 12 o'clock doctor's appointment on Zoom. And so it probably won't take that long, so I should definitely be ready by 1.
Right, but I told you that it could go into like 1:32. So we never actually did say 1 o'clock for sure.
Okay. Well, because I didn't hear from you, like the last thing we talked about was 1 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, what? Like, I would expect like 1 we kind of settled on, and then I would expect if that changed, maybe to get a notification or something.
But I would just say that you know me by now. So I mean,
Yeah, I mean, how long are we going to use that? Like,
I
how
get-
long can you be like, that's just how I am, man? Like, you know me. Like,
Yeah,
you can't tell people that, man.
yeah,
I can't tell my wife, like, babe, you know, well, I do, I get it. I do tell her that, but
Yeah.
it's still not right.
yeah. No,
Like-
it's you should expect nothing more at this point.
Okay, so just so you know, I sent the link out at 12:58, and then at 1:15, I sent a following up text message saying I sent the link. And then at 1:30 is when I called you, and you were in the shower, like,
Right.
So yeah, so it sounds like you had kind of completely forgotten. But the idea was that like after your doctor's
Well,
appointment.
no, I didn't forget. I was hoping that you would forget. I was just kind of tired. Today was a lazy day, but
That's what I got a feeling. Like, is you were just hoping this was going to roll over, and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, if Will really wants to do this, he'll call me, he'll reach
Right.
out. Like, yeah.
So now you know, and that's what I mean. Do you expect any less?
I don't expect any less. I
Right.
don't expect
And
less.
and
I
do you
expect more.
Do you expect?
I
more?
do. I do expect more.
What?
Like,
Oh, that is
yeah.
crazy. Then we haven't worked together long enough.
I thought I'm like, maybe this will be different. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
I do
maybe
like
this is a podcast. Like, this is us talking. This is like two friends jiving. You know,
But see,
on the
we gotta
internet.
be random. You know, we talked about having kind of a little randomness to us and like being all over the map with our conversations. So shouldn't we be all over the map with our start times too, and just be like,
So
you
randomness.
gotta- yeah,
So
Give the
randomness
people what
to
they
you
want.
looks like me sitting in this spot with my phone for 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
yeah. It took
Waiting
15
for you
minutes
to-
to start up the laptop.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, oh yeah. I'm gonna log right on right now. No, look, viewers. I just want you to know,
it's just sitting
Yeah.
there taking forever.
I'm the
Oh,
schlep
man.
who sat here for 45 minutes waiting
Yeah.
for this guy to come on a podcast.
Okay, honestly, I felt bad about the other 15 minutes. It took my computer a while to get started up.
Okay, well,
My bad.
I'll take the 15 minutes you feel guilty about for a week.
Oh yeah, I'll apologize for that one. That one was pretty brutal. I was
And
like,
I
man, he's
will-
gonna be so pissed.
And I will learn my lesson, and at half an hour before I will start blowing you up, and
Yeah.
and doing all that. Yeah.
I mean, what if I go to Costco and I want to get a very berry
Well,
sundae, and I'm like, oh man, either I get home on time for the podcast, or I have this very berry sundae and I'm 15 minutes late for the pod. This stuff like that is going to happen.
I was in here at 20 minutes before the podcast to make sure I got the link set out. Like, do you see?
Yeah.
Like, we are just two very different perspectives on things.
Right, and I need you to hold me down, but I can't have you hold me back. Okay, so
I don't know what that means.
I don't either, but it sounded good.
Okay, fair enough.
So you said you had a topic you wanted to talk about.
Do we want to?
And I can't remember what that was.
Okay, yeah. I think we got. I think
it was.
Yeah, I think we got some time.
Was it about your water intake, or should we save? We'll save that for another day.
You kind of brought. Yeah. We've had
Let's
enough
save
health and fitness.
Let's give the people something to wait on, because it is that is. I know I tried to tease with it earlier. That is something you guys are gonna be like, holy crap. So,
people are going to be holding their breath for my water intake. Like,
oh my
people
God.
are going to be like waiting at their laptops, being like, man,
okay,
I can't wait till this podcast drops so I can hear about Will's water intake.
Yes, they will. And I got to tell you, so there's a new show. I sent you a clip. Did you see that clip I sent you with that guy with the water jug?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a new show called DMV, and I can't remember. I think it's on Paramount. And so I'm watching this show, and there's this guy, and he's like, he all of a sudden just finds out like that there's these jugs that you can fill up with water to keep yourself hydrated, and he has a name for the jug, like hydration something, whatever. And so he goes up to the water cooler, and he takes all the water out of the water cooler, and so there's like a line of people behind him. And like everybody's like, and there's all the jugs are empty. It's all gone. There's no water in that office at the DMV. And but anyways, this whole episode, they're just making references. And oh my God, well, you have to watch it. I think it's episode 3. It's a brand new show, so it's season 1. But anyways, we'll dive into that a little more later on. But let's get into your topic. But that is just I had to throw that out there.
No, I'm more than happy to talk about water intake and how I think. Like I said, give a little teaser that water is good for everybody. It helps with digestion. It helps with hunger cravings. It helps with everything. So I encourage.
But not everybody can get it.
I encourage all my hydro homies out there to drink up, and for all the hydro haters out there, I'm not gonna say it here, but nobody cares. Okay, so. This is an interesting discussion that we can really only talk about in 2025. And my lovely wife and I actually kind of got into it over this one. And so I wanted to kind of hear Joey's perspective, because Joey thought he might have a similar perspective to my wife. So we'll see.
Yeah,
here.
I know I'm on the other side of you, because we don't agree all the time.
We don't agree most of the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do. Okay, so... This is from a Reddit post, right? And this person, a male, I forgot their ages. I want to say 30s. So essentially, he had his fiance. They had been together for a long time. They were actually getting married, and up on the pulpit or wherever they get married, he was really struggling to come up with wedding vows, and so. In his all-knowing wisdom, he decided to use AI to come up with his wedding vows. So immediately after he said these wedding vows, his fiance at the time said, "Did you seriously just fucking use AI to use your wedding vows?" And I think he basically had the deer in the headlights look, right? And she was pissed. So she said, "If you don't speak from the heart right now and give me some real wedding vows, I'm walking out of here." And I guess the dude just choked, right? Like, he came up with, couldn't come up with one thing. So she walked out. And so by the time this guy is posting, there's been some updates. Essentially, he reached out. She moved out. And it kind of sounds like from reading that he was defending his stance, just being like I know I shouldn't have done it, but this is crazy. Like, did she really have to leave me? Like, all that stuff. Um, and last I heard on the subject, that she was living with her sister, and it was over between them. So, I guess my question to you is, and it's a nuanced topic. Like, is it acceptable to use AI to write your wedding vows?
All right. So one thing you guys will learn from me is I kind of walk the middle on a lot of stuff like this. Like I can see both sides of the spectrum. You know what? Like if I got a beef with somebody, you know what? I'm an asshole. You're an asshole. I can see each side of it. I'm not one to take sides, but in this instance, good for her. Good for her. It's no different than your best friend dying, and you going up and giving a speech using AI at his funeral. There are certain things in this world that are sacred. And now you're talking, we just touch base on it. I mean, I'm definitely not the most punctual guy, and I mean, um, um, I'm a procrastinator. I don't follow through with a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff like that I say I am, and I know that, and and whatever. I try to get better at it. Whatever. So, but here's the deal. That and now I'm a divorced guy, so a lot of people look at me and be like, "Oh, he's full of shit. He's just a piece of shit. He's an asshole." Whatever, and you can have your own opinions. I still, as a divorced guy, view marriage as a very sacred thing. Um, just like I said, like if your buddy passed and you had to say something at his funeral, that is very sacred. I wouldn't want to pass away and have Will go up and just read something from AI. So I sure as hell wouldn't want my future wife giving that to me up at the altar. A line of crap that she didn't even write. She just plugged in our names and said, "Write me some vows." Um, yeah, I'm pretty strong on this. There's nothing that anybody could say to make me change my mind on that. I think the guy's a piece of shit. Sorry to say it, but that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Is that the side you thought I'd take?
No.
Really?
Really? No.
Wow. Okay.
So just for perspective, I think most of your opinions are the most ass backwards opinions. I think I wonder how you function in every day to day life. I wonder how you remember to take the next breath of air sometimes. But on this, we totally agree, Joey.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, I think in a moment like that, even if you wrote the worst freaking wedding vows you can think of, as long as they're from the heart, man, you know, like your future wife's gonna know that, right? Like she's gonna know, hey, this idiot fumbling his words, like went through and he wrote these for me, right? Like she's gonna know that those are real because they suck and she knows them. But she's gonna
Yeah.
know that they came from the heart. So like, I'm 100% with you because I remember when, I wrote my vows, and I remember when I was planning on proposing to my wife. Like, man, I was like 3 weeks, month ahead. Like, I was like in my car on my way home, just like writing down things and then scratching them out and just going over in my head like for weeks before I did that. Because this is like once in a lifetime thing, and this is like like the one time, like you really got to be from the heart. So, and then and then I think when she kind of gave him that out, which is up, up there while they were doing it, he couldn't get one damn word out. Like he couldn't,
No,
he couldn't,
that's
he couldn't
crazy.
just, he couldn't just be like, babe, like I'm sorry, I screwed up, like, and just like said some things that he loves about her, and how excited he was to be marrying her. Like if you can't spit that out, like yeah, I'm kind of I'm with her too, man. And it was just funny seeing the comments because people were not nice to this guy.
Well,
People were,
I mean, and here's the deal. Like the guy could, um, because we kind of got well, it's not really different, but I mean, it is in a way. You know, like I would be the same as you. I would be rolling up to the altar trying to freaking write down, you know, 3 or 4 lines, but it'd still be me. You know, the guy could have went to Walmart or something and went down the card aisle and plagiarized something. It took like 3 or 4 lines off the cards. At least that would have been better. He could have gone on Google and typed
Yeah.
in best and you know
Got some ideas.
now I'm not saying printing one off there because that would be plagiarizing, but getting some language that he thought would do well for his. I mean, he literally could have wrote this thing like if he would have even if he would have taken the AI one and then broke it down and like rewrote it in his own words. He seriously could have had this done in 5
He
minutes.
didn't even. You're right. He didn't even take the time to do that because I'm just imagining like this just totally AI speak. You know, and when you've used AI, you know what AI speak is. Like just this stuff that like sounds like it's like just the nerve that this guy had to like spit this out to the person he was gonna marry and not think she would notice. Like the dude was literally surprised that she even figured it out, and it's like.
No, that's crazy. Man. That is totally crazy. And I mean, AI, you know, what people don't understand is like a lot of this AI shit that's out here is not truly AI. You know, AI is artificial intelligence, being able to
none of it's
grow on
AI.
its own. I mean, it's more a computer that can scan, you know, everything off of Google till the end of all time and being able to make stuff up. So what is it? Right. What is it really doing? AI is not finding a cool new way to say a wedding vow. It's literally searching the internet to make sure all the spelling is correct, to make sure that you're using all the big words properly and delicately, and it's not like you said, it doesn't sound like you when it comes out. It's
gonna give you great ideas. Like don't get me wrong, like it can give you great ideas, and don't get me wrong, like I love AI. Like I can pipe in some stuff about something I want to say, and it'll give me a great answer. But you gotta take that into perspective. Like can you use it for like to talk about yourself or discreet? It's great for some things, but and it really is like it has a really good way of laying out some information, and like you said, it's just an aggregate of all the information out there, so it can give you the best wedding vows as per all the wedding vows it's ever read off the internet, and that's great, and you can use some of those points to put them in your own words. But so anyway, like my wife, like she's and it's hard to say because she'll pretty much take the point against me no matter what the point is.
Kind of like I do with you half the time.
Yeah, exactly. So
if you
I don't
told
even
me beforehand what side you were on, I would have definitely taken the other way.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to say exactly like how, because she just loves to troll me, and it works because I get super pissed off. But she's like, she's I'm a little bit more emotional than her. She's a little bit more like a robot, maybe like a female Mark Zuckerberg, kind of like, she's definitely a little bit more pragmatic, and, I'm a little bit more loving and emotional. So anyways, she's kind of defending the guy, saying like, well, I can see maybe, using it to like fix or correct or add. I'm like, yeah, that's not what he did. Like, he didn't use it to spell check. He didn't use it to get ideas. He didn't use it to, help spiff up his already written down wedding vows. He used it to create the wedding vows. And that's where he literally did nothing for put in zero effort for the wedding vows except to pipe it into AI. And that's the problem. Like none of us want to write freaking wedding vows. Like I don't want to, but I knew I had to, and I knew it had to be special.
And it's been so long now. I mean, it's been 20 years since I got married, but I want to say that we did because, we got married at the courthouse, and then when she got back, we had a ceremony, not necessarily a wedding, and I think we did. And I think I was a shitty. I should probably be hoping we had AI back then, because I don't even know if I wrote anything too great or if I wrote anything at all, and just tried to go from the heart. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely. I mean, how I got to bring this up. Like, we haven't even talked about this. Like, what is wrong with our luck, man? Like, I wish we could be a part of something like this. Like, I wish I could be at a wedding where the guy goes up and botches his vows. You know, I wouldn't want to be like close to him or her because then I'd feel bad. I want to be like one of those second cousins where I'm just along for the ride and be like, oh my God, this shit's getting good. Like, she's chucking her flowers at him and like walking down, like, yeah.
If we ever get invited to Mason's wedding, like this is what I would
Yeah,
expect.
100%.
This is what I would expect from him. So there were definitely a lot of maybe like kind of asking the dude if he was autistic. Like there were a lot of people wonder, like the dude got roasted, and there were a lot of people being like,
yeah.
"Have you ever got yourself checked out?" You know, like, and he said he said no. So, but yeah, that'd be pretty awesome just to because. Like, can you imagine what the people out there like even if the people that barely knew him would be like that's AI.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, dude. Like, and like, I'll be honest. Like, the closest thing I ever had to this was like, wasn't really like somebody not showing up or something. But we were at my, I want to say it was my cousin's like third or fourth wedding, and it was funny because like all my uncles and aunts and everybody and like would walk around and they'd be like, yeah, I wonder how long this one's gonna last. Like, it was like the joke like the whole night, and like she had no idea, but it was like, yeah. And so, but yeah, I've never been at a wedding where the other person hasn't shown up, or there's been an argument where they just don't get married, or yeah. But they happen all the time. I mean, can we get a little luck going our way? Can we? I think that'd be, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking,
weddings.
everybody out there. You don't want to see that, but
No, it'd be awkward.
maybe
Super
a little
awkward.
bit.
If they were like some distant friends or relatives, like
Yeah,
I don't know. You know, you just have a few drinks and you know, yeah. If you're like there, you're like, you know, that buddy you kind of don't like, and you're like, well, I gotta go because like he went to my wedding, so I gotta go to his wedding. If you're at like that guy's house and you don't even really like the dude because he's like that dude that makes an ass out of himself and that you have to like, you know, keep from getting the cops called. That dude, you know, he's gonna say something stupid. That's maybe a different story. You might wish it upon him. But
yeah.
I think you're right. Like, you know, on your real homeboy, you want that. You don't want to see that.
No, definitely not. You don't want to see anything bad. But yeah, how's work going?
Oh, don't get me started. We're not.
We won't talk about work. But
Yeah, no. Right now we're just trying to stay dry.
dude, it rained. Oh my God, it rained. I mean, I've never been so thankful to have office inside the building. It's been raining. Anybody that doesn't know, we work out of Seattle, Washington. I won't give you our exact addresses, but
don't give them our home addresses.
Maybe I'll give you Will's. I'll give you Will's exact address, but oh my God, it's been raining, and yeah, it is. You know, here's okay. Let's talk about this one. I heard on the radio or TV. It was a TV. I heard on a show the other day, and it's always funny because every once in a while they bring up, oh, it's raining in Seattle. It always rains in Seattle, and that's like the joke. And it's like, we actually don't get as much rain as like places like Chicago or New York. But it's weird. Like the perception is that Seattle gets rained on. Now we've had. I mean, yesterday it started raining at like midnight, went through all the morning, all the day, and I don't think it stopped until like 10 o'clock at night. We almost had 24 hours of just straight rain. And yeah, we get a lot of days like that, but it doesn't rain nearly as much as it does in other places in the U.S.
You don't think?
No. If you look at the totals, it's Seattle's not the rainiest place in the U.S.
I think Seattle is the rainiest place when it comes to like how many days of the year it gets rain. Like maybe not for total rainfall, but I think for like how many days it'll rain. I thought we were up there, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I mean our winters definitely are bad, and we don't get any snow. So if the weather's bad in the winter, we're definitely getting rain. But you know, we get 3 to 4 months out of the summer that are beautiful.
Yeah, but so doesn't everywhere? Doesn't Chicago?
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as like, you know, if you're driving up I-5, you got 30 minutes to the east and you got mountains to go camping, kayaking, whatever the hell you want to do. You got 30 minutes to the west and you're on the ocean or the sound, I guess. Technically, it's the sound, but um, yeah, I don't know a lot of places like that that
Yeah.
are. There's no. I don't think there's any place better during the summer. Now, I haven't been
No,
to the East Coast. I still want to get over to the East Coast. I've been to
I
like
don't.
San
I don't think the East
Antonio
Coast is
and
better than us.
yeah,
Did you say San Antonio?
yeah. That's about as far east. I mean, I've
Oh,
been almost
I thought you were
well.
saying that is the East Coast. I'm like, I don't
No,
think
no, no,
that's the
no,
East
no.
Coast there,
From
buddy.
from from west of the Mississippi, I've been to a ton of places. I mean,
Yeah.
um, Arizona, California. I mean, I've been everywhere, man. Like the song, but
Is there a
no,
song there? Yeah.
but yeah, no, I've never been east of the Mississippi. But
Yeah, me neither much. I've never been to the East Coast coast. I've been to Florida and North Carolina a little bit, South Carolina, but no, I mean we get rain. We're known for rain, and 'tis the season for rain. And for people like us, that are in construction and got to work out on it in it, it
yeah,
it gets old, man, and it's just getting started. Uh, Joey and I both work in construction, and we had Joey and I both know who this is. We had Ron sitting out there in the rain all Friday, just getting dumped on. I love Ron, but I felt so bad. He'd walk inside and be like, man, I'm just getting all wet. And he had all his rain gear just soaked. He was working
uh,
under the eave of a roof with some plastic tarped off, but
yeah.
man, it just, like,
Well, and
just,
that's what a lot of people don't realize out here is that when it rains here, it's normally like 50 or 60 degrees. It's normally not
yeah.
that cold. And
Mhm.
so you wear your rain gear and you just sweat through it anyways. And so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
soaking wet from sweating all fucking day.
Yeah,
It's kind of a pain in the ass.
it is. Like, if it's cold, yeah, you're better off being cold and rainy than warm and rainy, because when it's warm and rainy, you're sweating and you're in your rain gear, and it's like, what's the point, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, for people out there like that have kind of never, maybe worked out in that kind of industry, you see those people out there on lifts and stuff, just in the dumping rain, working their thing. Man, that is a hard job. And, like, you and I are kind of past that point where we're spending all our days out in the rain, but we both been there, and I just got to give a shout out to all those people trying to working in the dumping rain, doing their thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, what do you think? We're at about an hour. Should we wrap it up and
I think we
save
got
the
one
rest for?
more. I think we got
You
one
got one
more. So
more?
I got one more new thing. Now you are not a sports fan.
Okay.
But I think this more has to do with just kind of the rules and ethics of like a game. So one of the things that I like to watch is I like to watch on YouTube two of the I guess influencers that watch would be Good Golf and Bob Does Sports, and they had a tournament. They had an influencer tournament, and this was one of the biggest tournaments that they have done, where they got Barstool Sports, and they got all these big players to come in here and get these sponsors, and it was $1 million prize. Okay, and so it comes down to the final day. Like, this is it's a 6 episode event. I don't know how many days. It's probably like 3 days, but it's a 6 episode event. They're on the last episode, and it's 3 people versus 3 people. So one team is going to split $1 million. That's the grand prize. So 333,000 apiece. Now they had a rule here. Now here's the problem. So they had a couple guys kind of in charge of making up rules, and it was kind of hard to watch, to be honest. I mean, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, well I don't know golf, so yeah, sure, go ahead," or well, I think this is all right. Let's let that one fly. Like, there was just it just did not seem organized at all. As far as the rules go. It was great golf. I mean, they one of the one of the best episodes that I've seen on any other podcast or whatever you'd call it, on YouTube. But the content was great. But as far as like the rules and judgments on a lot of the stuff was really thrown together. So, anyways, they're down to the last 9 holes, and it's really close. I think they're tied at the time. Now they had a rule, and I'll just describe this for you because you don't really know sports that well. So, you ever seen the golfers use a rangefinder?
Yeah.
They've got that rangefinder where they can see how far away the tee is, right?
Yeah.
So there's a slope button on there. Now in pro tournaments, there is in pro tournaments, this is PGA Tour. You're not allowed to use slope. It's considered a disadvantage or an advantage to the player. And so for whatever reason, at the beginning of these 6 episodes, they said absolutely no slope on your rangefinder. And what that does is, if you got a slope going down, is it will factor that in and adjust how far you got to hit the ball, because obviously it's going to go further because the slope is going down, so your ball's going to carry further. So and vice versa if it's uphill. So no slope. So anyways, to wrap all this up, this one guy, he's been given wrong distances the whole time, and everybody's like, why are his distances always off from ours? And it got brought up in one of the episodes where the guy's like, wait, what did you say? You're like 6 yards difference than me, which is quite a bit. And he's like, is your slope on? And the guy's like, no, like it's obvious, right? It's obvious. So anyways, so yeah, now we're back on like hole 10 or whatever it is on this tournament. And so they're gonna do a sneak attack. They're like, hey, let's go and check the rangefinders while they're down on the green. They're not at their carts. Well, the guy somehow gets up to his cart before anybody. He grabs his rangefinder and he grabs it with one hand, and he takes his thumb where it looks like the slope is, and he clicks, and it's obvious because they have cart cams, so they see this whole thing, right? To me, it's obvious. So anyways, here's my question. It's not like a sanctioned tournament. So I mean, whatever. And the rules are kind of iffy.
So what's the point of it? Like, do their scores matter? Is it for charity? What is it?
No, it's straight up winner. The winning team splits $1 million, and there's 3-on-3, so it's $333,000 for each of them. So, but I guess my question would be: is it not because it's not like a sanctioned event? Like, it's just a bunch of YouTubers out. Like, I mean, I thought they should have been docked some points. They let them play. They let them play on it, and they almost won the match. They went down to the final hole, tied, and it kind of pissed me off because I'm like, come on, you gotta do something. Like, and they're like, well, it's unclear, it's this and that. It's like, the guy literally knew what he was doing. So I don't know. Like, do you think there's a difference if it's not like Major League Baseball or PGA golf? Like, if it's just your backdoor YouTube golfers playing, like, there's a certain amount of, like, I guess, efficacy that you still should have, right, with the game, no matter what you're doing.
Well, sure. I mean, etiquette's a moral dilemma, right? Like, there's the moral issue, which is obviously they're cheating, right? But I can guarantee you that when there's money involved, should they have won the $1 million, there would have been some lawsuits, right? Like, if it's really kind of a stupid decision on their part, because if you're cheating and you win, like, and anybody catches you, like, yep, it's gonna become a big freaking issue. But I mean, I don't know what they do on the normal PGA to make sure people aren't using the slope on their rangefinders. Like, do they have, like, how does the PGA manage?
They don't even have them. They don't even have rangefinders, and that's what they should have did. They should have just eliminated the rangefinders,
or give them like a special one that doesn't have something.
But the PGA Tour has, the reason why they get rid of the rangefinders is the caddies. They all have caddies, and they are giving them yardage based on their maps and everything that they have off the course. So now they didn't have a caddy for each golfer, so I could see wanting them to let them use the rangefinders. But
like, just don't let anybody use rangefinders like that. I mean, everybody's got the same disadvantage, right? Like, if nobody can use rangefinders, then what's the freaking issue? Like, I mean, I don't know. It seems like they kind of created their own mess by allowing somebody to use something with a button that all you got to do is push it and you can use it. Um, but yeah, I mean, like
Right.
for sure, if they win the $1 million, it just sounds like lawsuit city. It sounds like a really dumb decision.
Yeah, and you're right. Like you just said, it's so easy just to push a button. And that's the thing is, we're watching some cut up series that they edit and put together. We're not with these guys in the carts. We don't know. I mean, there could have been 30 out of the 48 people using slope the whole time, but just never
Yeah,
got caught.
exactly.
I
And
mean,
that's then
so
then that's the whole thing is yeah, like for the one that got caught, it's never the only one, right? Like
right.
so, for whoever wins, someone could be like, well, I saw him using the slope, and yeah, it just when you got, I mean, it's a lot of money. When you got that much money up in the air, like you need to have all your variables locked down. So, because the last thing you want is a bunch of lawsuits and people being like, oh, well, he used this and he used that. Like, it just it seems surprising to me that they would let people use an instrument like that. That literally the only thing stopping them from it is a button. It
Yeah.
seems crazy to me.
Well, and probably the most crazy thing from that tournament is so there's this guy. Now I'd never heard of him before, but his name was Beef, and he was a really overweight guy. He's kind of like me, but
Beef.
his nickname was Beef. And dude, it's crazy. So he was a part of the winning group. He was locked in with this really good golfer. The guy just, anyways. So they win this tournament, and he's got 333,000 or whatever, and they asked him what he's going to do with the money, and he's choking up and he's tearing up, and he says, I'm going to pay off my parents' mortgage. He goes, it's about time they had their mortgage paid off. And I guess this guy, like I've watched a couple of podcasts since then where they've talked about this guy, and it sounds like he's just a stand up guy, dude. He passed away. So he passed away um, in between when they filmed this invitational, and when they edited it and brought it out onto YouTube. So anyway, yeah, I'd seen on YouTube. I'd seen on YouTube that there's a couple like heartfelt videos like, oh, Beef passed away. And at the time I was like, oh no, I don't know who that is. And so then I started watching this invitational. I see him in it, and I'm like, wow, it's kind of funny how YouTube works like that, right? And so, anyways, yeah, I guess after the tournament, I don't know what the timeline is. Nobody's really said like how far after they recorded it. But yeah, the guy says he's gonna pay off his parents, mortgage and some other stuff. And he said, I gotta. One of the things that was cool. He goes, I gotta donate, right? He's like, he told the camera like, oh, that's just what you do when you win money like this. Essentially, is what he's saying. But yeah, and then he passed away. That was unfortunate, but um, yeah,
Well, R.I.P. to Beef, man.
yeah,
Sounds like a good dude who wanted to give it to his parents and donate. You don't see a whole lot of I don't want to say that, but there's definitely a lot of social media people that are not about the charity and are not about their family. So that's sad, man.
yeah. So yeah, that's my current stories. That's what I've been watching this week and
That's
last week.
news from the or not from the PGA, but from the golf world. Everybody, the YouTube slash
Yeah,
golf
I
world.
like to I like to watch good golf. And by the way, the guy that was cheating was from Good, so I guess they're not so good anymore. But yeah, good golf, and Bob does sports, and yeah. So yeah, those are my two
Right
golf
on.
channels.
Well, everybody, tune in next time for more golf channel updates from
Yeah,
Dylan.
leave a comment if you like it, if you want. Our goal obviously, would be to grow this thing. And if people like it, if they don't like it and you're losing brain cells listening to us, then obviously we got to find something new to do. But we really would like to have you guys be a part of the show. And so I think we were thinking about it for the first month or two, we're going to try to put a video out once a week. And so put some comments on this video, and we want you guys to kind of dictate which way the conversation goes. So, um, maybe you guys got something you guys want to ask, or, and we'll do our best to answer. some of your questions. So,
Yep, just another reminder. Please like, subscribe, tune in for the next one. Turn on your notifications, and like Joey said, just participate in the comments. We'll be reading them, and if you have questions or stuff you want us to bring up on the podcast, by all means, please post it, and we'll try to include that. Since right now, I think we have zero listeners because we don't have the channel up. It's gonna be really easy to read comments because we're starting with 0. So, anyways, like I said, just please participate, and Joey and I just want to thank you guys all for watching our first episode, and we will see you on the next one. Anything else, Joey?
that's all I got.
Okay, thank you.